So we are just getting experts at the night sky now. Let's just have some fun now and go down that list that's getting longer and longer of things we know how to recognize. So I just have Stellarium running here. We'll do this two ways. I'll try to identify the stars as advertised all on my own with you here. Arcturas, Spica, Pollux, Castor, and then we'll turn the labels on to make sure that we're right. Okay, so we look at the star field at night. We really don't know what's going on, but we're pointing towards the north here. We happen to see the Big Dipper right here. It's nice and clear for us, and so we go up and go, okay, there's our North Star, so we're good there. Again, sort of void of stars in there, hard to get confused. Now we'll do our Arcturus bit, and so here's the Big Dipper right here, and by dragging the sky around, it is cheating and makes it very nice, but this is sort of the equivalent of you just having to turn your head and look at different portions of the sky, so you're not going to focus on the North Star as much anymore. You might have to look to the west a little bit here, but anyway, here we go. Here's the Big Dipper right here, and here's that handle we're going to arc. So here's the arc to Arcturus. So we're going to come up like this and arc and arc and arc and arc as we go, get nothing there, and then bam, right there. That star right there is going to be Arcturus, and so we found it. And then so the next thing we do is we're going to spike down to Spica, and you see as we're turning our head, we're well out of view of the Big Dipper and even the North Star, so we're getting into a different portion of the sky. So we came over and we arced to Arcturus, and then bam, down we spike right there to that big bluish star called Spica. And then the other two that I promised was Pollux and Castor, so we'll go find those two now. And I believe the way we do those is we go back to the Big Dipper and we sort of come down diagonally from the bowl here. Let's see what happens if we do that. So we'll just sort of start on this line and we'll come down diagonal like this, sort of in this portion of the sky. Here we go, here we go. And I think if we keep going right there, we'll encounter our Pollux and Castor. And so let's just return now to the simulation and we'll turn the labels back on. Thank goodness. And let's see how we did. I think I was right. Castor and Pollux, there we go. Let's go back up to the Big Dipper. So there's the Big Dipper nicely labeled here. There's Doobie and Merak, the pointer stars. There's Polaris right there, so we're okay with that. And it looks like we did arc to Arcturus properly. There's Arcturus right there. And did we spike down? Yeah, we spiked down to Spica just fine. So there we go. And as promised then, I wanted to just give you a couple more facts about some of these stars that you can sort of tell your buddies out there as you go camping. I sort of have a list here that I want to say. Okay, so when you find Arcturus right here, and I'll show you some graphics on this in the next video, but when you find Arcturus like this, it's a very reddish star, which means it's kind of old, and it's about 25 times the size of our sun, so it's absolutely huge. And then when you go down to Spica right here, it turns out Spica then is very white and bright, and it's about 7 times the size of our sun. So if you can find Arcturus and Spica, you're talking about some very large objects in the sky there. Okay, and lastly, I promised to give you a little bit of story on Castor and Pollux here, so I'll go back down diagonal from the Big Dipper like this to find Castor and Pollux. There we are. Let me turn on the constellation art. I can never remember the key, but I think it's this one here, R. So there we go. There's the two twin brothers here like this. There's the two twin brothers, and you can see that sort of the Pollux and Castor sort of form their heads. And I'm not quite seeing in this particular constellation art about them being joined at the knee, but the stories sort of vary, but it looks like they're definitely joined at the shoulder right here. So that's the way the story goes, and there's the two twin brothers sort of up there. Now you'll have to be very creative, I think, to try to connect the rest, but see, if you actually turn on the constellation lines versus just the art there, you can sort of see how, well, the originators of all these labels in the sky, they sort of visualize two people, two heads right there, two arms joined right there at the elbow. Here's some legs right there. Then, of course, if I go back and turn on the constellation art, you can sort of see where then the people end up coming from like that. And so that's the story of Pollux and Castor. Okay, in the next video, I'll give you a bit more information on these things.